Greetings from Costa Rica. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my, third live broadcast here. My name is Matt Rosensteel, and I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker Tamarindo Realty here in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. It's 7 p.m. on March 31st. Tonight, we're going to be looking at the Villas Venado Condos, located just 375 meters from an absolutely spectacular beach here in Playa Junquillal. If you're watching live tonight, do be sure to give me a shout out, comment, like the video, ask questions. Let's have some fun. This evening, we're going to be looking at the Villas Venado condos in Playa Junquillal, Guanacaste, Costa Rica. Again, my name is Matt Rosensteel. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Greetings from Costa Rica. Again, my name is Matt Rosensteel. Thank you very much for joining me for this live session where we're going to be taking a virtual tour here in a 360-degree environment of the Villas Venado condos, located just 375 meters from the beach here in Playa Junquillal. Thanks very much for joining us again. If you're here for the second time, if you're logging on for the first time, do be sure to give a shout out and let me know where you are, why you're watching, and if you're interested in moving to Costa Rica. I'm super excited to be absolutely tech enabled. I've got my live stream set up here where I can conveniently hide the beer behind my overlay so that no one knows exactly what I'm up to. Again, tonight we're going to be looking at the Villas Venado condos in Playa Junquillal through a 360-degree virtual tour. It's a really cool technology where the cameraman, shout out to Victor and Elias for putting together the actual tour themselves. This camera sits in the middle of a room, takes a 360-degree picture, and you can see absolutely everything about the condos, the environment, and what's going on. So it's a neat way to be able to explore property here without having to fly all the way down to Costa Rica. If you like straightforward information about this country and you're considering moving here, do be sure to subscribe to my channel. It will make me feel incrementally more self-valuable if you could do that. Really appreciate it. Without further delay, what I want to start out with tonight on our virtual tour is a drone video of the Villas Venado condos put together so that you can get an idea of the context, the sort of 30,000 foot degree, sort of perspective, and get a little bit more of what's going on around it. Let's go ahead and watch that video. Here we go. Wow, you gotta love that sax music. That's a throwback right there. Quick video about Villas Venado. There are 8 condos in the complex. Again, you're located very close to the beach. In those drone shots, I'm sure you could see that really it's just a short walk down there. One of the things I wanted to do is bring up again a quick drone image showing the complex. The pool, that bright blue dot that you can see right there in the foreground, you have 2 accesses down to the beaches from Villas Venado. Both are about 375, 400 meters walk, a couple blocks. You can either go down to the beautiful Playa Honda, that is a sort of very quiet, small beach on the right-hand side of the picture, and then there is Playa Boca del Venado on the left-hand side of the picture, extending left from the point. You can't necessarily see the entire beach there, but there's another much more extensive one to the left. So you're a really quick walk down there, and it's an easy location. Villas Venado also puts you about an hour and a half away from the Liberia International Airport. You're only about 10 minutes away from a paved highway, which is an absolutely scarce resource here in Costa Rica. You find all kinds of places where you can get great deals on condos or great deals on real estate that are at the end of a very long, difficult drive. Not so in Villas Venado. You've got a paved highway, again, that ends about a mile and a half away from the condos. And from that paved highway, in addition to being an hour and a half to the international airport, it is only about 40 minutes to Playa Tamarindo, which is a tourism hub where you can find huge supermarkets, private schools, movie theater, all kinds of amenities, emergency rooms, et cetera, on and on. So really, you're not that far out of civilization. You're located in the real Costa Rica, where you don't have too much development around you, and you're still very accessible to the airport, everything else that you need to have a happy Costa Rica life. Perhaps most importantly, the condos have fiber optic internet, which makes them the absolutely easiest place to use as a remote work lifestyle, or the pad for your digital nomad remote lifestyle. Thanks very much for commenting, Ryan. I can't wait to meet you here in Costa Rica. Definitely, let's start looking at the actual Villas Venado condos again. To bring up the outside overlay of the building, or rather the layout, you can see the 2 Villas Venado buildings there in the bottom middle part of the picture. Here we are going down to our 360-degree tour. I will be sending out the link to this tour at the end of our event tonight. To quickly get to the point, you're looking at condos that are this close to the beach in this beautiful surrounding here in Guanacaste, Costa Rica, for only an asking price of $205,000 for one fully furnished condo. The developers are going to offer, and actually we're looking at it right now here, down here would actually be condo number 4 before we get over there, but that's the one that'll be offered, fully furnished for $205,000. We're talking about 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos at the Villas Venado project. They're a couple blocks from the beach. And as you can see, as we start to look around our common areas, they have, first of all, an absolutely enormous pool. I haven't measured it, but really for just 8 condos, it is a huge space that would really never, ever be crowded. This project was designed not to be just a place to crowd in as many possible units as they could, but rather really comfortable residences. Looking here, the condos are divided into 2 buildings. One towards the beach, and one set back here on the property, which is actually towards the main entrance. There are 4 condos in each building. All of them have the exact same floor plan. They are all 1,450 square feet. And because you've got really these large common areas and plenty of space, even if these condos are fully occupied, you never feel like there's a ton of people here at Villas Venado. I'll go ahead and check out. So this 360 stuff, I absolutely love it. You know, you're under the common rancho here or the pavilion out by the pool. We're looking around and you've got your barbecue area. Again, one building up on that side of the project and a second down this way. What we're going to do is check out 2 beautiful condos down in this building over here. First of all, because in this building we have our condo listed for the special $205,000 fully furnished. Beyond that, condo prices start to go up. Walking around the common areas, just to remark really quickly, you can see that all of the flowers and really the landscaping that they've done throughout. There are people here who take absolute pride in making sure this looks beautiful. You have red ixoras over here. This is a purple bougainvillea. The yellow conifistula tree, which is actually on the neighbor's property, but everywhere you're surrounded by beautiful plants, hedges, palms. These are ornamental ginger plants, multiple palms over here. And so frequently when I'm walking around these condos with people, I get a lot of comments on just how beautiful the landscaping is. Here you can see those red ixoras in a hedge and an ornamental ginger there. Again, oh, Liza, I'm sorry you can't hear me. Hopefully it's not that everybody can't hear me. I see I've got about 30 viewers. If anybody else can't hear me, if you've been watching on mute, thank you very much for dealing with it despite that. If hopefully everybody else is able to see it or able to hear me. So we're back around the back side of the condos here where you've got the stairwell up to the 2nd story and 2 condos again on the 1st level. First, we're going to step inside here. This is the 1st level condo, number 4. This is the one that is offered for $205,000, fully furnished, ready to go as you see it here. After we sell this $205,000 unit, we'll be moving on to higher price points. First, we'll take a step over here and look. This is the guest bedroom on the right-hand side of the hall. At Villas Venado, every room or the bedrooms have custom hardwood cabinetry that was built in when the condos were built. Here they've got it set up to maximize rental potential with 2 guest beds. The guest room comes into a Jack and Jill bathroom. Again, this is a 2-2, so you do have 2 bathrooms. I'll step out here into the main hall just to first give you a bit more of the layout. Here I was looking back into the guest bedroom. Moving down the hall, this would be the guest bath that we saw from the bedroom over here. But anyhow, back into the guest bedroom, we can take a look from the corner of the room to see what it looks like. They've got nice inset ceilings, and everything is done to a very high quality that if you've toured property in Guanacaste, and if you've toured $205,000 Guanacaste properties, you might have seen that a lot of things are not nearly this comfortable. I'll tell you right now, that's because this is in an undiscovered community, Junquillal. In more developed areas, you don't find condos that are quite this high quality at this price point. Let's come on over into the master bedroom here. Again, hardwood cabinetry, really well done. They've got everything extremely comfortable. Interestingly, this is one of few places on earth that was comfortable enough for my mother on repeated occasions She's somebody who's very honest with anybody who's hosted her, and if somewhere isn't comfortable, the sound isn't great, if she doesn't feel really great in a rental unit, she immediately leaves or makes changes through the management. So anyhow, Villas Venado was good enough for her, and that pretty much is a guarantee that very few places have. Again, we're in the master bathroom here. Set off the master bedroom. We'll take a look at this room from the corner of it here. If you're joining me from the US, Canada, Europe, Costa Rica, do be sure to let me know where you're tuning in from, how I can be of service to you. If you're moving to Costa Rica and looking for a condo close to the beach, don't hesitate to send me an email to matt@cbtamarindo.com. With that, I'll quit the little pitch here and we'll head out really into one of the greatest features about Villas Venado is that because they used a square floor plan and arranged the condos the way that they did, you actually have a really nice open living room here that goes into the kitchen in this area over here, where you see a lot of different ideas that people have when they're trying to figure out how do you develop condos and sort of fit them in together logically. With Villas Venado, you can see that the main living space and kitchen are all shifted up to the front half of the property rather than trying to keep spaces sort of fit together like puzzle pieces. So you actually have one real living room that feels like a space where you're not just sort of crammed into a rental condo or something that's not really meant to be a home. Coming over into the kitchen here, you'll see with island layout, beautiful countertops, everything very well done. These condos were finished in 2009. The construction is 100% reinforced concrete throughout the two buildings. They're absolutely built to last. These are structures that are going to be in their location for over 100 years. And really the way that they've set up things, again, looking back here, you can see you've got your guest bedroom over here on that side of the hallway, your master bedroom on the right side as you would be leaving, and your main living space that actually opens up room to be comfortable and hang out and enjoy yourselves. And perhaps most importantly, one of the great things that they achieved here was building enormous porches. This is where you would be spending most of your Costa Rica life. The temperature never drops below 75 or 80 degrees on this porch. You're sitting surrounded by the peaceful Guanacaste countryside, and really this is a residential neighborhood here by the beach. You have a private home on this side. The same is true on the other side of Villas Venado. And really, you've got this space that's actually, I think, either 10 or 12 feet wide here on the patios, where you can put your dining room table, you can live outside, you can spend huge amounts of time. There could be hammocks here. You know, you can see that there are 4 chairs around this table, comfortably placed. And down here at condo number 4, which again is offered at $205,000, you also have very easy access to head back out to the glorious pool at Villas Venado. So here you're back looking at condo number 4. Your neighboring condo is over here, and up this way, you're just walking up to the pool and right back in the middle of the condo complex. So again, that was condo number 4, a first story, 1,450 square foot condo, 2 bedroom, 2 bath here at Villas Venado. This is the condo that the developers are willing to sell at $205,000, fully furnished and ready to go. All of the other condos, the second story condos will start at $225,000. The first story condos, the other units will start at $215,000 unfurnished. And so they're really trying to find this as the single unit that they're willing to offer at 205, ready to go. We will head up here to condo. I have to remember correctly. Yeah, condo number 1, up on the right-hand corner as a second-story unit. Now, this is actually one that the developers have used. It's one of their units that they've upgraded and included a lot of new furniture, other important upgrades that they've made to the kitchen and other areas that they're asking $250 fully furnished as it is, or rather $249. Sorry, I need to take a break here. You're looking at the exact same floor plan that we were looking at downstairs. When we come into the condo, oops, we ventured into the bathroom here. Let me get back out into the hallway. The exact same floor plan as the first story unit. Excuse me. Where you have both of your bedrooms along the main hallway in the entrance, and then again, a really nice living space where they even have the dining room table inside in this picture, 2 couches, the TV, to give you an idea of the space. I know it can be very tough on a 360-degree tour to really figure out what the dimensions are. But you've got comfortable sofas for 2 people on both sides of the living room here, dining room table, and still plenty of space separating the living room from the kitchen. Just wanted to quickly give some shout outs. I'm glad that it was just a headset issue and everybody else can hear me. Dave G, thanks for tuning in. Tracy Taylor in Atlanta, Georgia. I've got family up there. My Aunt Jill is in Atlanta. Colby Williams. Oh, man. Somehow I must have hit the algorithm sweet spot with Atlanta, Georgia, because we have actually Michael. Yeah, Roswell, Georgia. I need to figure out exactly what's going on with my presence right in Atlanta. I know you guys might be dealing with that awful yellow pollen about this time of year. I think it's sometime in the springtime. Good luck as that coats your cars here. Out in British Columbia, we've also got David. Thank you very much for joining. David Ward in Georgia as well. Wow, really hitting in Georgia. Beer break, yes, David, it was necessary. California, Frederick Fernandez, also thanks very much for joining us. To get back to the Villas Venado condos here. So we're in the second story unit. Again, you'll see the exact same floor plan, though, down in condo number 4, which was the one we toured first, that was diagonal from this unit, down and on the other side of the building. There, you had the kitchen on the outside of the building and the living room on the inside, just like here. So the only difference is that in these condos, the floor plan is essentially flipped over that middle wall, but still everything else exactly the same. Again, we'll look at it over in this direction from the living room towards the kitchen, out towards that glorious terrace. We'll step out here and take a look. 360 is not an absolute, the best method to catch it. On this condo, you do have a teeny bit of ocean view, and from a couple of the second story units, you do get ocean views from Villas Venado. They fluctuate. There you can see, in the photo, they didn't take a long distance angle one, but there you can see a little bit of ocean. And in general, you're close enough that you're definitely hearing the waves all day. And really, from this terrace, you're enjoying the view of the beautiful trees, palms, Costa Rica's countryside, rather than an overdeveloped tourism hub surrounding you. To talk a little bit more about the community in which you find Villas Venado, I'll go ahead and switch again to that drone photo. This, and let me see if I might add another one here that we can take a look at a bigger angle. Villas Venado is located in Playa Junquillal, which is a very quiet, undeveloped community about 35 minutes south of Tamarindo. We have 7 boutique hotels with about 15, 20 rooms. We have the same number of amazing restaurants. And it's a town that really hasn't seen any major businesses come in, like a Westin, Marriott, etc., that have turned this into a huge tourism hub. That's why you still see condos here that are just a couple blocks from the beach and $205,000 asking price, like Villas Venado. The same condo located in a tourism hub to the north of us, like Playa Langosta, Playa Tamarindo, Potrero, Flamingo, would be significantly more expensive, especially if you were looking at something that was the same size. Again, 1,450 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and built 100% out of concrete, not one of these ticky-tacky sort of structures where the interior walls are made out of something that resembles cardboard, styrofoam, and tin foil. We did have, oh, great, we've got someone tuning in from New Jersey. Thank you very much for tuning in as well. Wanted to ask, let's see, Steve Holtz. Oh, great to hear that you'll be back. Sorry we didn't get in touch during this trip. Hopefully we'll make it, I'm sorry, when you make it down here. If you have questions for me, comment, write them in there right now in the live chat, or feel free, if you're watching this after the broadcast, live on YouTube, just set a comment there and I'll be more than happy to answer it. Again, you can also contact me, and let me click on my overlay here, at matt@cbtamarindo.com. That's my email address. I appreciate it if you reach out to me, if you've decided that Costa Rica is the right place for you, and now you're trying to figure out which piece of real estate is the right piece of real estate for you. I am a realtor with Coldwell Banker, Tamarindo Realty, and although I love helping people discover Costa Rica, I'm unfortunately unavailable to help explore the area, find tour guides, etc., etc. Additionally, if you're thinking about moving here and really just in sort of that information gathering stage, do be sure to click subscribe on my channel. I post regular, boring, informational videos about taxes, utilities, property management, everything that people want to know. It's not always just focusing on specific real estate here on Costa Rica, Matt. So follow me if you're trying to learn more about the community. Frederick, that is a spectacular question. If these units were built in 2009, why does the developer still own them? First of all, 2009 was an absolutely devastating financial crisis that sucked the wind out of development in Guanacaste. Here, we saw successive waves building up towards 2008, where the Liberia International Airport, which I mentioned earlier, which is an hour and a half away from these condos, opened in the early 2000s and started having regular international flights. That led to a development boom, first up north in Playas del Coco, which is only 30 minutes from the airport. It's a quick drive out. Then there was a development boom, or rather there was a, sort of a churning and a development boom in Tamarindo, a little bit further south, but still within a 40-minute drive of the airport. And lots of developers expected that boom to come further south all the way to Junquillal, including the developers of Villas Venado and other projects in our community. They finished building them in 2009, and Junquillal was sort of waiting anxiously for this massive arrival of investment. And given the fallout of the financial crisis, Lehman Brothers, the market, everything, we saw an absolute evaporation of demand from one day to the next, where before 2009, All kinds of US, Canadian, European citizens were playing with mortgage money that they had from their home country, investing in Guanacaste, and things were doubling in value every year. 2009 happened. All of a sudden, those investors had absolutely no money, or they lost the worth that they thought they could invest here in Costa Rica. And suddenly, you saw development just pause here. They had finished the condos at Villas Venado. They originally were asking over $300,000 for every single unit in the project because they expected this boom to absolutely come right to Junquillal and just bring people to buy the condos. Well, financial crisis, stagnation, and then most recently, the COVID pandemic have made it really difficult to link up buyers and sellers. They decided to list their property with me. During the middle of the pandemic, I actually proposed to them, you really need to get a better online presence because we don't have anybody in Junquillal or visiting. And we've been working diligently since the middle of the pandemic last year to really start getting people into these condos. Let's see if anybody else has more questions they would like to ask. Do feel free to ask me there. Going back to the amenities here at Villas Venado, they have, aside from that enormous pool, they do have a 24/7 security presence where during the day, a gardener is there taking care of the grounds and watching out for things. And at night, there's a security guard on the premises. Those two people are wonderful to have, especially when you're talking about just 8 total condos in the project. They're people that you could, have a ring system, for example, on your condo door and say, oh, I see that the renters are struggling with their lock. Can you go over there? They're an on-site resource, people who take care of the property like it were their own. You can see when we were touring around just how spotless everything and how pretty the grounds are. They very much invested in keeping things beautiful and perfect. Are the units for sale new and never lived in? No, they have been rented. And in fact, the Villas Venado condos, at least prior to the pandemic, there were condos that were cash flow positive, paying 100% of their operating costs, including taxes, HOA fees, bills, etc. One condo had a net income of $3,600 through rentals after they replaced an air conditioning unit, or what you would consider a fairly major investment in ongoing maintenance. So very easily through rentals, these condos are already paying their costs. They're in a pool. Incidentally, one property manager manages all of them. She does an excellent job. Her name is Georgina, and these are condos you could buy and essentially leave the key with Georgina, and she will send you a monthly or quarterly statement about how your condo is operating. You're not obligated to work with one single property manager. You could decide to run your own Airbnb portfolio, or you could put this in the hands of one of the many people here in Junquillal who would be interested in managing it for you. For a 2-bedroom this close to the beach, you can generally get somewhere in the neighborhood of $175 to $225 per night. During the high season, maybe in the low season, you'd be looking at reducing those rates to $125, sort of $100 to $150 a night to make people deals. The high season here is Christmas to Easter, so we're actually just wrapping that up. The low season really is May, and then September, October, November. You do see decent rentals in June, July, and a little bit in August, though it's falling off. So the condos would generally see in a good economy when travel conditions have resumed. You see that 2-bedroom, 2 baths here in Junquillal can typically rent at about a 40% occupancy rate. Liza, I really appreciate your positive feedback that my videos are wonderful. Trust me, I wouldn't do it if it weren't for people who thought that my videos were wonderful. Next, we have a question from Rich. And oh my gosh, I missed one of the most important parts of the virtual tour. Let's get back there. I will stop rambling here. I'll take off my overlay so that you can get back into Villas Venado. First of all, to talk about the walk to the beach. And again, I'm going to bring up this picture. It's only one that I preloaded in before I set up the event today. I will eventually add more graphics and make this even more crazy. But essentially, you do have to come out there. The main road is running along the bottom of the picture. You have to come out Villas Venado at the main entrance and walk down. You have two accesses that take you to two very different but spectacular beaches. One is in the upper left-hand corner of this picture, where you see those white condo buildings, the 4 Las Brisas buildings in a U. And the other beach is this very small horseshoe, which would be in the absolute middle of the picture, sort of on the top of it. I'm going to go back to the condos here, and we can actually we won't walk down there virtually, unfortunately, but we can look at videos of both of those beaches from this virtual tour. I love this stuff, and in fact, my plan is to eventually have all of Junquillal in this virtual environment. But essentially here I've got 2 links where I can go either, which is 500 meters down to Playa Boca del Venado, which would have been the one in the upper left-hand corner of the picture. And in this, I can go down to what's called Playa Honda, the absolutely closest beach, which is only 350, 375 meters. So this is the small one. And the walk down is actually a public road that you come up in this direction, where you're basically heading down a rural Costa Rican road that ends about 200 yards from the beach, and a footpath begins where you come out of this sort of forested area down onto Playa Honda, which is spelled just like Honda, the car maker. And you can see here, there are not many people frequently on this beach. Playa Honda is small, unknown, and absolutely gorgeous. This would be a perfect swimming spot in the right tide. And right just to the north here, you can walk and get to Playa Junquillal, which is a broad, sandy beach that measures more than a mile. Looking over here, if we come to this beach, this would be your other beach access from Villas Venado. Here are those condos, those 18 that I mentioned in the 4 buildings in that U-shaped format. Those are beachfront titled condos called Las Brisas. Unfortunately, we almost have nothing for sale there anymore because most of the units have been going under contract. But down at this beach, you're at an entirely different sort of environment where, first of all, rolling in off these rocks, you do have a little surf break that's right over here. And you're on another very long sandy beach that stretches probably more than a mile. You can see the wind was blowing and the camera was rocking a little bit when they filmed this. Down here, there's a river mouth where the Nandamojo river comes out into the ocean. So you also have down here a beautiful mangrove estuary to explore on kayaks, paddleboards, etc. So this is your absolutely closest beach, which looks really bad and uninviting, called Playa Honda. And then just a little bit further on the other side of the point, here you've got Playa Boca del Venado. I should have shown that a while ago. I completely blew it on getting out to the beach here. Let's see if we have any other questions. Do feel free to comment with any questions. If you've enjoyed this, do be sure to subscribe to my channel. Do be sure to give me a like. We'll look towards wrapping up here. We do have Jean Beshin in the house, and most likely Teresa Beshin, also from Iowa, and perhaps Claire Beshin. Love you guys very much. Hope you've been enjoying yourselves, imagining life here in Costa Rica. Rich has an extremely important question about HOA fees and pets. First of all, let's talk about pets. In Costa Rica, a lot of condominiums were set up with the idea to preserve peace and tranquility in the long run, and also make sure that the quality of everyone's investment was 100% insured. You saw that when people were setting up condominiums in this region, most often they would use the bylaws from other condominiums that had proven to be successful. And I'm speaking specifically about lawyers who were setting up the legal structures to mandate these. Long story short is that pets are not allowed. The goal being that if you have renters in these condos, if you're allowing pets over 10, 20, 30 years, you can get some real wear and tear in the condos. You'll have issues with renters, with owners who are unhappy, and really over time, it can contribute to problems. It's also important to note that in the bylaws of Costa Rican condominiums, it takes 100% approval to change them. And so when people established condos, a lot of times they opted for rules that would protect the quality of the investment, again, in the long run, and then the potential of possibly switching if everybody was on board. Getting along to HOA fees, again, at Villas Venado, everything is taken care of outside of your condo doors. You've got maintenance of the exterior buildings, the pool, your water bill is included. They have a 24/7 on-site presence with that gardener there during the day taking care of grounds, and the security guard at night. They've been able to maintain the condos in this condition that you've seen, since they were built in 2009 without having to do any kind of extra investment or special assessment. They've had fees since they were built at $450 a month, and as they go along towards the future, it'll be interesting to see with more condo owners present. I feel it's very likely that they won't need to have absolutely someone there staffed 24/7. You could very likely see a future system where the condos have gardening during the day, security at night, and lower HOA fees because there are more people involved in the project, etc. But you would find in our area, as I've mentioned before on my HOA fee video, in the Guanacaste region, you're looking at 31 cents to 35 cents per square foot as your average, whether you're looking at condos in Tamarindo, Langosta, wherever. At 1,450 square feet, they're right in line with the average. And in fact, in Junquillal, the other condominium developments that I can mention, the Las Brisas beachfront, Las Ventanas, which are also about 300 yards away from the beach. Every single condo complex has approximately the same fees for their 2-bedroom units. You see one building where they're $410 per month for the 2 bedrooms, and you do see a couple projects where they're a bit higher at $490. I've been a homeowner in Costa Rica for 8 years at this point, and I've seen clearly how much it costs to maintain any property. And what's great about condos is essentially for $450 a month, or $5,000 and change per year, you're condensing all of your property maintenance, your pool, your security, all of the costs into a hands-off, hands-free sort of structure where you pay one bill and somebody else takes care of 100% of everything that needs to be done. Locally, it would cost you about $100 a month to take care of any kind of pool as a bare minimum. It would cost you even more to have a security a security provider that was able to respond. In our community, that wouldn't be feasible, but just generally speaking, you would be looking at costs as a homeowner that would be equal to or greater than what you end up putting into a condo here in Costa Rica on a yearly basis. And, you know, again, to go back to the pets question, they're really focused on keeping these condos absolutely as quiet and high quality as possible. They've never gone digging in the bottom of the barrel for renters. Their rates have always been close to $200 a night or somewhere where they're not just trying to fill them with renters. You see very much that the quality of the project has been maintained over time. And if we were able to take a real live tour together, if you can come down to Costa Rica and see them yourselves, even if we're there in a peak week at, you know, a time of year when lots of the condos are rented, you would find it's an extremely quiet location where you can enjoy the absolute best that Costa Rica has to offer. Not just living in a huge tourism hub where you've got tons of surfers, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. These are places that are built for people who are really thinking about coming here and enjoying their condo themselves, or they're built for people who want their renters to have the experience of a very wonderful, you know, sort of high quality residence that isn't something where they can find the absolute cheapest rental rate. It has been a sincere pleasure broadcasting to my 43 concurrent viewers right now. I sincerely appreciate everybody watching. My next live event, I am going to, actually, I don't have a commitment to a live event just yet. I'll be posting on my YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe if you've enjoyed yourselves tonight. I'll probably be back on either a Sunday or a Wednesday night again. We'll be touring condos, homes. We'll be talking with guests. I want to give as much information about moving to Costa Rica as possible. If you're thinking about moving here yourself, if you've decided that Guanacaste is the right place for you, don't hesitate. Oh, sorry. Don't hesitate to email me again at matt@cbtamarindo.com. My name is Matt Rosenstiel. I'm a realtor here in Western Guanacaste, focused on a region that's an hour and a half north of Tamarindo to an hour and a half south of Tamarindo. Tonight, we've been looking at the Villas Venado condos, which are about 35 minutes south of Tamarindo. First story unit going for $205,000. That's only one condo that's offered there. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,450 square feet. You're just a hop, skip, and a jump away from those absolutely gorgeous beaches I showed you. Scott Pierce, I absolutely do have time on Friday for a tour. Send me an email and we'll line it up. Absolutely. I will ping you via Facebook here in just a moment. Those of you who aren't in our area, don't hesitate to reach out. I can do virtual tours focusing on specific condos where we walk around with my iPhone and I take a close look at exactly which unit interests you most. If you're going to be here in our area sometime soon, reach out in advance and let me know so that I can block off time to be with you. Again, thank you very much for joining me tonight. It's been a sincere pleasure. Subscribe to Costa Rica Matt. Have a good evening. I'll be posting updates for the next time. Thank you all so much. Buenas noches from Costa Rica.